We embrace a commitment to free expression, even of views that are objectionable, offensive, hateful. It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying, harassment,
Does that speech not cross that barrier? Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
When
you testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada. Is that speech according to the code of conduct or not?
We embrace a commitment to free expression and give a wide berth to free expression, even of views that are objectionable.
You and I both know that's not the case. You are aware that Harvard ranked dead last when it came to free speech. Are you not aware of that report?
As I observed earlier, I reject that characterization.
It's the data shows it's true.
We did it, gang. The plagiarizing president of Harvard has officially resigned in disgrace. That disastrous congressional testimony has taken out yet another Ivy League, or should we say poison Ivy League official, all as it has exposed our college campuses for being the radical ideological freak shows they become. Greetings, everyone. Happy New Year to one and all. I am Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. If you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, as many of you know, the Grinches at Google completely demonetized our channel, so make sure to show some love to our sponsors. And those are the amazing patriots over at Goldco, who are here to help protect your financial freedom. Now, you may have heard about President Trump issuing a very dire warning about America and the very thing we depend on to live, and that's the U.S. dollar. If Trump's warning comes true, this could be bigger than losing any war. But if Trump's prediction is right, and he's been right about a lot of things, and we lose our status as the world's reserve currency, I mean, imagine how this could impact your retirement savings and your quality of life. So that's why you should take Trump's warning seriously by clicking on that link below right now, or go to turleywarning.com, because there you'll see what thousands of Americans are doing to help protect their savings before it's too late. Plus, when you click on that link below right now, you'll even see how to get up to $10,000 in free silver to protect your savings. But don't wait. We may not have long if Trump's prophecy comes true. So hurry up and click on that link below, or go to turleywarning.com right now. After weeks of battling mounting accusations of plagiarism in the wake of her disastrous congressional testimony, Harvard President Claudine Gay has finally announced her resignation. She is out. Now, her resignation comes on the heels of yet more accusations of plagiarism and academic misconduct on her part, along with the loss of literally billions of dollars in donations from Harvard benefactors who've demanded her ouster. Well, they got it. Her resignation makes Gay the shortest serving president in Harvard's history, serving just 6 months before she was booted in disgrace. Now, the reaction that we're hearing from the far left, who really are in the end just tribalists, right? They are radical proponents of what scholars call retribalization, the demand to redefine the American electorate according to a new caste system of cultural Marxist race categories, with the supposedly oppressed race always on top, always given the benefit of the doubt, always defended, always, no matter what unethical acts are committed, and an oppressor race always at the bottom, always guilty, impossible to be proven innocent, for whom there is no possibility of redemption. That's the modern day far left, and you could see it in the reactions. Ibram X. Kendi, one of the most shameless race hucksters out there, is actually blaming Gay's resignation on racism. I kid you not, he claimed that racist mobs were ultimately responsible for her ouster. Note, not her own actions, not her disastrous testimony on Capitol Hill, or the mounting examples of her alleged plagiarism. No, none of that matters in the world of Kendi, who sees the world solely according to this racial caste system. Now, the irony of that, of course, is that it's precisely Claudine Gay's race that not only allowed her to stay on as long as she did as president, but most likely was the entire reason she ended up becoming president of Harvard in the first place. If she were white, like UPenn's president, Liz McGill, she would have been forced to resign literally hours after her disastrous testimony on Capitol Hill. You'll note that these far-left activists like Kendi aren't coming to the defense of UPenn's president. Isn't that, I mean, I wonder why. Aren't they worried about somebody being fired just because she's a woman? Doesn't gender equality count for anything anymore? I mean, I know it's hard to keep up with the ever-expanding categories of identity politics these days, but come on, man. And Kendi is hardly alone in his feigned cultural Marxist outrage. Here's the utterly repulsive Joy Reid of MSNBC.
I do want to just pivot to another thing, because there's another thing happening, Jelani. There is this sort of open war on Black progress, Black history. Claudine Gay, the president of Harvard University, at least up until she resigned, is now the latest casualty of that. Christopher Rufo, who is out there touting and, high-fiving and claiming the scalp of Claudine Gay, telegraphed that this was what they were going to do, that they were going to associate these DEI professors of colleges with BLM and decolonization and Hamas in the public mind and get rid of them. He's now claiming victory. He telegraphed that this was the campaign. Why are these elite colleges capitulating to it and essentially making it so uncomfortable for these women leaders that they have to step down to be replaced by white men? Because that is the goal of Christopher Rufo and his gang.
That's right. According to this borderline illiterate over at MSNBC, Claudine Gay was ousted so that white men can run Harvard again. I mean, how on earth is someone at a supposedly major news channel even allowed to say racist bile like that? Can you imagine that being said of any other race or gender? Now, ironically, I think this is the biggest takeaway from all of this. Those congressional hearings, what they did more than anything else is they brought into the light the horrors of the cultural Marxist darkness that has infested our nation's institutions. In many respects, what we're seeing in the reactions from Harvard's board, which initially did everything they could to defend Gay, even in the midst of the mounting plagiarism accusations, as well as the reactions from what we're seeing on the ultra-left legacy media, it's all exposing these cultural Marxists for who and what they really are. Very much the way libs of TikTok has been doing, right? The reason why the left hates libs of TikTok so much is because the channel exposes, it sheds light on the woke insanity that pervades the political left for all to see. No filter, no sanitized editing, no contextualization, just the woke left and all of their ideological insanity. Now, just talk to your neighbors. You'll find out just how effective this exposure tactic has been. More and more people are now recognizing and appreciating what's really wrong with our nation. It's not Trump. It's not the far right. It's not anti-democratic insurrectionists. No, it's a vile, racist, ideological lunacy that's taken over our major cultural institutions. A lunacy that allows our cultural elite to say and do things that no right-thinking person would ever even rationally consider. And they do it all under the veneer of virtue. That's precisely how Elon Musk defined wokeness. At its heart, wokeness is divisive, exclusionary, and hateful. It basically gives mean people a shield to be mean and cruel, armored in false virtue. That's what this libs of TikTok approach is doing. It's exposing for all to see just how ideologically insane the far left has become. Whether in the guise of university presidents or legacy media anchors, the racist sewer of woke leftism that so many of our nation have thus far been largely shielded from is increasingly getting uncovered and exposed. That is what the left really hates, which means they'll inadvertently display their rabid ideological filth all the more. As many of you know, we have unfortunately been completely and totally demonetized, which is putting our daily communication with one another at risk like never before. Now, we are actively working on getting this resolved, but as things stand, this channel has, without any warning, been totally and completely demonetized. And as Elon Musk said so powerfully last week, the whole point of these demonetization efforts is to deliberately try to make us patriots feel like we're all alone. They want to sever our relationship with each other and force on us a kind of digital solitary confinement so as to demoralize us and discourage us like never before. But to their horror, it's not working. Over this past week, you have carried this channel like never before. We've had more people than ever make the courageous decision to bypass big tech and join our Insiders Club. We have direct access to one another that can never be interrupted by big tech overlords. Over the last 7 days, we've seen literally thousands of you come to our rescue. And you've done it in 2 ways. You've signed up for our free newsletter and you've officially joined our Insiders Club. Those 2 acts alone are enough for us to collectively stand together and never, ever have our relationship severed. So I'm inviting the rest of you to do the same today, just by clicking on that link below and signing up for our newsletter and joining our Insiders Club. You are guaranteeing that there is nothing that big tech can do to get between us and make us feel like we're in a digital solitary confinement. It's as simple as clicking on the link below right now and opting into our free email newsletter. And once you do that, you can financially support us by joining our Insiders Club. Gang, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you enough for your support during a time like this. You are my heroes, and it will be my mission to express my appreciation for every single one of you each and every week.